Try it right now. Dig your fingers into your own ribs, then your own neck, then the sole of your own foot. Nothing. Now let almost anyone else do the exact same thing, and in 2 seconds you're on the floor. Same fingers, same skin, same pressure, and your body treats one as harmless and the other as a full-blown emergency. That gap is not a glitch. It is the last switch still flipped on from a machine your ancestors could not survive without, and the day it finally stops working is the day something has gone quietly wrong inside your head. By a low fire, a caveman sits on a rock and goes hunting for the feeling. He digs his fingers into his own ribs. Nothing. He drags a nail slowly down the sole of his own foot. Still nothing. Just a flat face and a question hanging over his head. He jabs harder, almost annoyed. The skin is bare. The fingers are real. Every nerve works. And yet, on this entire planet, the one creature who cannot tickle this man is this man. That dead spot under his own hand is beat 1. And the moment he hands that exact same job to anyone else, his body loses control completely. Then a tribesmate leans over and jabs him in those same ribs. Same spot, same pressure. He detonates, howling, thrashing, completely helpless. Identical fingers, identical skin, opposite result. His brain cranks the volume all the way up when the touch comes from another hand, and all the way down when it comes from his own. The skin never changed. The owner of the hand did. The faint, itchy kind of tickle, though, that one he can still do to himself, and it is hiding a much older job. A spider crawls up the back of his neck. His hand flies up and swats it before his eyes even find it. That light, creepy crawl tickle, the faint and itchy one, is not broken comedy. It looks like an alarm, a skin sensor for bugs, ticks, and parasites trying to land on you. And that one he can set off on himself. So there are 2 different tickles living inside this man, and only the laughing kind is locked away from his own hands. Now lay out where the laughing kind actually lives on his body. The neck, under the chin. The armpits, the ribs, the belly, the soles, the soft inside of the thigh. Drop that map over his anatomy and it reads almost like instructions for killing him. Straight over the arteries, the windpipe, the soft organs, the exact lines a spear or a claw slides into. The giggle spots are the kill spots. Being tickled there might not be a joke at all. It might be training for a fight. 2 cave kids wrestle in the dirt. One pins the other, grabs him right in the ribs, and the loser dissolves into laughing and goes limp, yielding. That is the surrender laugh. A tickle to a weak spot that says, "I give up, do not really hurt me," while quietly teaching both of them to guard those spots. Laughter is a white flag between people who trust each other. Your own helpless giggle is a surrender signal you never agreed to send. But this whole alarm only runs on one condition. It has to be able to be surprised. So why can he never surprise himself? The instant his own hand begins to move, the oldest room at the back of his skull lights up a heartbeat early and sends a spoiler ahead of the finger, a copy of the order spelling out exactly where, how hard, and how fast the touch will land. And it erases that feeling before it ever arrives. He deletes his own tickle in advance every single time and never once notices the machine doing it. The whole trick is just timing, and timing is something you can break. One researcher proved the timing is the entire game. Put a delay of just 1/5 of a second between your hand moving and the touch landing, and your own stroke suddenly feels ticklish again. Same hand, same skin, only the clock moved. 200 milliseconds. That is the whole wall. Picture it on the caveman. If his hand could lie to his brain by that sliver of time, he would put himself on the floor. Break the timing and you can tickle yourself. Break the predictor itself and something far stranger happens. Now picture one of the tribe whose inner spoiler has broken, whose brain has stopped tagging his own hand as mine. His own fingers feel like a stranger's, so he can tickle himself. That is not a fairy tale. People whose self-prediction fails can do exactly this. The wall between self and world has gone thin, and the tickle leaks straight through it, which means this tiny dead spot under your fingers is really a status light for your whole grip on reality. Watch the infant by the fire. For its first months, you can stroke its foot and it simply feels the touch, no laughter. Then, right around 6 months, the giggle switches on. Not because the skin changed, but because that is the exact moment it learns where it ends and the world begins. The tickle turns on the day the baby first draws the line between itself and everything else. It is not something you were born with. It boots up, and almost none of it is written in your genes. And how ticklish this man is barely lives in his blood. Twin studies put the inherited share at about 4%. The other 96 is mood, trust, the day who is reaching for you. Same tribesmate, same ribs, floored when he is loose and warm by the fire, dead numb when he is tense on the night watch with something moving in the dark. If it were just his wiring, it would never depend on who else is in the cave with him. Here is how twitchy the system is. The caveman starts flinching and grinning before the hand even reaches him. Just expecting the tickle is enough. The reward and the panic circuits both fire on the approach, with skin contact still inches away. Half the reaction is pure anticipation. The fingers are almost a formality, which is exactly why the laugh was never his to refuse. The body decided before he did, and once it lands, he cannot shut it off. Tickle laughter hijacks the same deep reward wiring as food and play, so the man pinned by the fire laughs even while he is fighting to stop, clawing to get away as his own face splits into a grin. It overrides him from the inside. The laugh is not consent. It is a seizure, and this hijack is so old it does not even belong to us alone. Out past the firelight, the same circuit is already running in the animals. Tickle a rat on its nape and belly, the exact spots young rats grab in their own play fights, and it chirps out a high ultrasonic laugh near 50 kilohertz, a giggle pitched too high for us to hear. The rat is running the caveman's exact program. He did not invent it, and it is not just rats. Climb the family tree and the laugh is already waiting there. Tickle a baby chimp, gorilla, bonobo, or orangutan, and it pants out an open-mouthed, play-face laugh, the same response, joint for joint, as a tickled human infant. To an untrained ear, an ape's laugh sounds more like a saw dragging through wood than a clean ha-ha, but it is the real thing, the same emotion, the same trigger, in every cousin around the fire. You share it with creatures you have never met, trace that laugh backward and you hit a number that swallows the whole human story. Follow that shared laugh all the way back, and it lands on a common ancestor that lived more than 10 million years ago. The thing flooring this caveman by the fire is older than his species, older than the cave, older than the very idea of a human. He did not inherit it from his grandfather. He inherited it from something that was never a person at all. A machine that old should have one clear purpose. It does not. And this is the part that should bother you most. Nobody can say for sure why any of it exists. One camp calls it defense training, guard the soft spots. Another calls it social glue, laughter to bind the tribe. Neither has won. A 2025 review flatly labels ordinary tickling an unsolved enigma. The cave cannot tell you why it is laughing. We mapped the genome and split the atom, and we still cannot say why a poke in the ribs makes a grown adult scream. Step back and look at the caveman now. No saber-tooth is coming for his throat tonight. No rival is lunging for his ribs, and the alarm over his arteries still fires the second a finger lands. The threat is long gone. The machine never got the message. It is a guard still pacing the wall of a fortress. No one is attacking. You are running Ice Age software on a couch, guarding a body nothing hunts, which leaves exactly one test still running, the one inside your own body right now. So go back to your own ribs. The reason your hand does nothing is not that the machine is broken. It is that the machine is working flawlessly, predicting your every move and erasing it before you can feel a thing. That boring, empty non-feeling under your own fingers is the single hardest computation in your skull, running perfectly, all day, for free. And the day it finally slips, you will be able to tickle yourself. That is the day the wall between you and the world has cracked. Pull all the way back from the fire, and you will see every human alive carrying the same switched-on machine, a survival system still standing guard over a body. Nothing is hunting, and the only proof it still works is that not one of us can lay a finger on ourselves and feel a thing. You were never locked out of your own ribs by accident. You were locked out because, so far, your brain still knows exactly where you end and the world begins. The ones who lose that line can finally do it. Hope you stay locked out.